All balls Talarico.
Good job. Way to lead, Sam. Good leader.
Bringing to the box, Glenn Rigg. Nice strike from Harry Peters. Bunt foul by Rigg, bringing the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fouled away, staying in there.
We're bringing you the John Reid Shield Final Series. A ground ball here for Glenn Rigg. Straight back to pitcher Harry Peters. And it's just off target, so Adam Talarico will advance through to second base. Top of the first inning, and James Harris here bringing you all the play-by-plays for the John Reid Shield Final Series. We are playing for the Australian Open Men's National Championships. Minor finals tonight, of course, and into the major finals tomorrow, where the ACT have gone through straight into the grand final. Winner of tonight's clash between New South Wales and Victoria will play Queensland. Sam Cassiano, the hitter for Victoria, lays down a great bunt. He stops still. Tag is made and an out is called. Peter Wards does the job at first base for New South Wales and get an opportunity to go around the diamond for the defensive lineup, which is New South Wales. Harrison Peters pitching to Josh Bond. At first base is Peter Wards, and at second is James Todd Hunter. Mitchell Brownlow at third with Ryan King at shortstop, and in the outfield, Lockie Hay, Hayden Matthews and Callum Beechel. Liam O'Leary will be the DP for New South Wales. Umpires just going to have a chat, perhaps, about Sam Cassiano's bunt. Did he take a step back before he was on his way to first base? That's the question being posed by the New South Wales coaching staff. George Samaras is the hitter, just about to come up to bat for Victoria. Nothing doing, says plate umpire Damien McCauley after his conference with his on-field umpires. Adam Talarico led things off with a walk. Glenn Rigg put down a bunt and got there safely to first on the fielder's choice. Now, George the Greek, George Samaras, up to bat now. He's had a pretty good tournament, actually. Georgie, he's hitting .348 with a .533 on-base average.
Strike outside for Peters.
Takes the first one in for a ball. Harry Peters into his motion, and Samaras is jammed up there. Peter Wards will play home for the tag at the plate. An out is called. Talarico decided not to slide, and Josh Bond has made a great play at the plate. Good heads-up play from Peter Wards at first. He could have easily gone to his base first, but he saw Talarico take off on the pitch. And the second out is made. So great defense from the home team, New South Wales. Runner still on third base. Samaras on the fielder's choice. Safely aboard on first. New hitter for Victoria is Joel Hughes. Now, didn't know too much about Joel before the start of this tournament, but he's been terrific. He's hit .348 with a .458 on base average in the left-handed batter's box. Crushes this one down the third base foul line for strike one. And Harry Peters really getting put to work early by the Victorians. There is 2 out, 2 runners aboard. High for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Count 1-1.
Strike swinging on Hughes. So Peters getting ahead of the count, probably for the first time in this game as well, as the Victorian batters have had the ball in play. With each batter so far. Samaras takes off on the pitch and they'll just let him go.
Runner advances to 2.
Allowed steal for Samaras, so 2 runners in scoring position for the Victorians. Hughes takes a deep breath as Peters fires that one in, and Hughes good enough to foul it off. Both these teams made their way through into the finals, with New South Wales in 3rd position. So they're the home team and they'll get the chance to bat second. Hughes goes down on strike. So Peters gets his first strikeout victim of the game. And the 3rd out to end the Victorian first batting innings, and it was quite eventful actually, as we saw Tallarico lead off with a walk before the Vics played short game with Rigg and Cassiano both laying down bunts. So a few runners aboard for the Vics early, but they don't capitalise on their opportunities. A great play at the plate from Peter Wards, the veteran for New South Wales, out of retirement to cover an injury this year, and terrific to see him back in touch. We'll see him in the lineup batting second. Let's go through the Victorian defensive lineup. We can see Adam Woon is pitching to Jaden Bamford. The infield, Sam Cassiano, Sam Seach, George Samaras and Adam Tallarico at shortstop. The outfield, Stephen Dawson, Glenn Rigg and Joel Hughes.
Right field, Joel Hughes. And the DP for today, John Hudson.
Well, the Victorians may have finished in 4th place, but they were able to do some damage early on in the week. They put up some great results and good numbers. And it wasn't necessarily off the back of one individual, but a great team performance. Good team fielding average of 940. And it was Adam Woon who did the majority of the work on the pitching mound with Anthony Battridge, who will no doubt see later on in the game. Leading off for New South Wales is Hayden Matthews, who watches this one through high for a ball.
Ball gets away from the catcher for ball 1.
Hayden Matthews, of course, part of the Aussie Steelers team for a few years now. He's had an absolute sensational tournament once again for New South Wales, and leading off, high swing and a miss for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike.
1-1.
Wound deals, and obviously got a number of notes on the hitter because all 3 pitches have been up and out of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count. Swing and a miss. High and outside once again, so Woon really working that outside edge on Matthews.
Ball 2, strike 2.
2 and 2 the count. Gets him swinging again. Every pitch on that outside edge on Matthews for strike 3, and that is the first out. And we'll bring up to plate the veteran Peter Wards. And Wards is leading the New South Wales averages with 4, 12, 7 hits, of course, but he's had 5 sacrifice hits as well. So that's where his strength is in the short game as he swings at that one. Shows slap and goes foul for strike 1. So Woon doing well here on the New South Wales top order, staying out of the zone, making them chase. Wards buns straight back to Woon. The throw is just in time as Peter Wards nearly beat that one out. A great take by Seach, covering first base from second. And that's 2 quick outs for the VICs in New South Wales. Number 3 hitter, Callum Beashall, now up to bat, hitting .333. Has scored 10 runs, crossed the plate 10 times.
Called strike on the outside for strike 1.
Strike 1 called on Beashall. Woon really looks switched on here for the VICs. That one just off for ball 1, so 1-1 the count now on Beashall. Beashall, another member of the Aussie Steelers team. Plenty of representation from that team in the New South Wales side. High for a ball, and Beashall looking pretty confident and comfortable up there in the box. Swing and a foul. Beashall looking to pull that inside pitch.
Foul back, 2-2.
Two and two. High and way out of the zone. Bamford having a little trouble getting a handle on that one, but no damage for the Victorians as there's no runners on.
Ball 3, strike 2.
Loads the count up. Payoff pitch. Swing and a foul for Beashall. So staying alive in the count. He's waiting to jump on one closer to the zone. Good enough to get the hands to that one. Another foul ball for Beashall.
Callum Beashall fouls it off again.
Gets a piece of this off the glove of Woon. Deflects over to Seach at second base. And he's able to make the play quite easily in the end. So 3 up and 3 down for New South Wales. And that'll end the first inning. It's a 0-all ball game here at Blacktown International Sports Park. Very special thanks to the grounds crew here at Blacktown City Council. They've done a terrific job to get the Diamonds back into shape. We had a lot of rain overnight. Some games were cancelled and abandoned last night as well. So a credit to the team at Blacktown City Council for getting us back underway for the final series. Stevie Dawson will lead things off in the top of the second innings for Victoria. Probably a little under his own expectations, hitting .208, but a very dangerous hitter, .464 on base average.
Into the box, number 56, Stephen Dawson. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
Aggressively getting after that first pitch, behind in the count early for strike 1, and Harry Peters fires that one in there, just down for a ball. These two are teammates for the Tropics that play at the Canberra Skins tournament.
Ball 2 on Dawson.
That one's down and in, and Dawson goes ahead of the count now. Swing and a big piece of the ball. It's going deep to left field. A home run, the first run of the ball game. Stephen Dawson for Victoria will open the account with a massive shot over left field. And the Victorians will take an early lead into this ball game. Unbelievable shot there from Dawson. Solo home run, so not too much damage for the New South Wales team. It's Dawson's third home run of the tournament, and brings up John Hudson. John Hudson, the new hitter for Victoria, former New South Wales player, has been representing Victoria for a few years now. High for a ball, so 1 ball and 1 strike. Hudson hitting .214 for the tournament. Peters gets this one inside and will do the fielding himself. The ball goes over the head of first base player Peter Wards and into the covers, protecting the diamond earlier today. But the ball will go dead, and an extra base for Hudson. So a miss hit's paid off for Hudson there as he gets the extra base on the wild throw from Harry Peters. It's the second that we've seen of the game for Peters. No outs, runner on second, 1 run already scored. The third batter of the top of the second inning is Sam Seach. He's playing second base for Victoria. A modest 133 average on the tournament. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. He's just taking his time here on this pitch, probably because the runner on second will change the catcher signal pattern. Fouling that one off. So way ahead of the count now is Harry Peters, and he'll want to strike out just to settle a little bit after a home run and an error. Gets away from catcher Josh Bond, but gets a kind bounce. Tries to get the throw over to third base. Brownlow reaches for the tag. Hudson doesn't want to move anywhere. Timeout called, and he's safely to third. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the count on Seach. Infield for New South Wales will come inside the diamond, protecting that run at third, as there's no out. Currently in the top of the second inning. A check swing from Seach. It's in the dirt, so good block from Bond. Peters stays down, trying to do his best to stop that runner from advancing on a ground ball, and a strikeout on Seach for the first out of the second inning. Catcher Jaden Bamford now up to bat for Victoria. He's hitting 9, so the Vics are already through their lineup here in just the top of the second inning. Harry Peters straight to work on Bamford, down and in for a strike swing. Same location, so not wanting to risk anything up here. Trying to get a ground ball for his team. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Bamford had a pretty good tournament so far for the Vics. He's caught majority of the innings for Victoria so far in the tournament, batting .250. That one nearly cuts the edge inside. Bamford good enough to let this one alone.
Count 2 and 2, 1 out, runner on 3.
Shuffles in the box. Swing and a miss on a high pitch for strike 3. The second out, 2 strikeouts in a row now for Peters. And we'll go back to the top of the order and Adam Tallarico.
Into the box, the leadoff batter, Adam Tallarico.
Called strike on the first pitch, so Peters into a bit of a groove now after giving up a solo home run to Stephen Dawson to start the second inning off. Just off the plate. Tallarico's had a great tournament, hitting .320, 7 walks as well, so he's got a good eye, Tallarico, leading the team in walks. That one just missing as well for ball 2. 2-1 count on Tallarico.
2 balls, 1 strike.
What's been impressive for Tallarico is led off every game for the VICs. Lots of plate appearances for only 3 strikeouts. Way ahead of the count here. Good hitters count for Tallarico. 3 balls and 1 strike. They look down, but hits the bottom of the zone. So the count will go full. With 2 out, runner on third. Scoring position for the VICs. They hold an early lead. Gets a shot to this right side opposite field for Tallarico. An RBI single for the second run of the inning. So 2 runs for the Victorians in this inning. Bringing up the captain of the Victorian team, Glenn Rigg. He's had an amazing tournament in a farewell tour. Down and in, but a called strike. Glenn Rigg hitting .435 with 2 home runs this tournament. Another called strike on Rigg. So he is behind on the count. Tallarico has some will, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets on the move on this pitch. Rigg watches that one cross through the plate, but low for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss for the 3rd out. So Peters gets 3 strikeouts on the inning, but he gives up 2 runs on 2 hits and an error. And the Victorians will take some confidence into this fielding inning and hold a 2-run lead. Plenty of New South Wales influence over there on the Victorian dugout. You can see James Brownlow with his arm in a cast, injured in the last training before the tournament started. Was going to be an integral part of this Victorian lineup. However, they've got this far without his services. Sam Cassiano holding up the first base position quite well. Of course, a former junior Steelers captain when they toured Argentina for a Junior World Championships, bronze medalists, of course. The other New South Wales influence is John Hudson, former member of the New South Wales team. Getting through the change of innings very quickly. They're under a stopwatch timer.
Number 99, James Todhunter.
So very efficient changes. Let's get back to the action. James Todhunter, second base for New South Wales. Hitting .315 on the tournament. Down and in, but a called strike.
Ball strike on the inside.
That's where you want to live on Todhunter. He's got great hands, extends out very well to the ball. Bamford sets up inside again for another called strike. Wound looks on tonight. 3 up, 3 down in the first inning.
2 strikes.
Leaves that one alone, up and out for ball one. High for a ball, it's got a very good eye. Todd Hunter, great contribution all week. 435 on base average and been perfect in the field. Swing and a miss, extends the hands on the outside edge and goes foul, so no damage for the Victorians. For those watching at home, bench players for New South Wales: Stuart Perry, Bradley Kilpatrick, Nathan Dickinson, Lockie Smith, Aidan Cajun and Kieran O'Leary. High for a ball, so we'll go full.
Nice batting by James Todd Hunter, bringing the count to full.
Payoff pitch for Todd Hunter inside. And a walk, lead-off walk for Victoria, the first base runner of the game. For New South Wales, first base runner of the game, bringing up the DP Liam O'Leary. Moves into the left-hander's batter's box and calls timeout. Woon into position, ready to go. O'Leary's only just taken a signal from Coach Rhineflesh. Now he's settled. It's gone up the grip, shows bunt. Todd Hunter with a big lead off, but a called strike on O'Leary. Now Liam O'Leary DP for this game, hitting 167 for the tournament with only 2 hits, both of them extra base hits, but he has 12 walks for the tournament and a 560 on base average. Aussie Steelers representative lays down the bunt. Samaras tries to barehand it, and O'Leary will be safe on first. An infield single for O'Leary. Maybe a little fumble for Samaras. And James Todd Hunter will advance to second. Runners at first and second now for New South Wales. Bringing up to bat Lachlan Hay. Lockie Hay hitting 375 for New South Wales. And leading the New South Wales offense in RBIs with 7. So runners in scoring position for the dangerous Hay.
Time called by the batter.
In and out of the Steelers squad. Lockie Hay is a tremendous bat on his day, very dangerous. Woon goes up and out of the zone for Hay, who shows bunt, pulls out on the high pitch.
Bunt attempt by Hay, forward ball.
New South Wales looking to respond after the Vics put 2 runs on the board in the top of this inning. Shows bunt again, fouls it off for a 1-1 count.
Foul, 1-1.
Shows bunt again, high and out of the zone. So Coach Rhineflesh has put the bunt signal on 3 pitches in a row for Lockie Hay. Victorian battery is keeping the ball well out of the zone here. Trying to force an error on the hitter of Hay. Very disciplined so far. 2 balls and a strike. Again, shows bunt. Down and out, down and in this time for 3-1. So good hitters count for Lockie Hay. Seen 4 pitches, but shown bunt on each of the occasions. Todd Hunter, the runner on second, relaying the signals to help the hitter Lockie Hay out as he Almost check swings that for a foul.
Top foul, it's a loaded counter.
Full count on Hay. No outs with 2 runners on. Swing and a miss. Great pitching from Woon. Didn't give anything for Hay to look at the whole entire at-bat.
Into the box, number 31, Mitch Brownlow.
That's his second strikeout for the game. The number 7 hitter is Mitchell Brownlow, last year's MVP of the John Reid Shield. Had a quieter tournament this year, modest by his standards, a 300 average. 2 runners on base for Brownlow. Fouls, check swing, tip the glove of Banford, and the runners will advance to second and third. So both runners in scoring position now for Brownlow. Has 5 RBIs on the tournament with a 348 on base average. Coach Rindfleisch now has 2 opportunities to bring these runners in. We can see O'Leary outstretched, relaying the signals. Woon into his motion and change up, down and in, and a called strike.
Nice change up by Woon. Count 1-1.
Big cut from Brownlow, goes foul. Good hitters count as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, he was behind in the count with 2 strikes. He was now still in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chops this one down. Samaras, another fumble. 2 in 1 innings has been costly. And the first run scores for New South Wales. A miss hit. Third base, Samaras jumped on it early. Couldn't get a handle on it. Brownlow safely to first. O'Leary safely to third. And Todd Hunter crossing the plate for the first out. Josh Bond, the catcher for New South Wales, is the next up to bat. Shows bunt and fouls that off.
First pitch, bunted foul for strike 1.
Tried to pull out of that bunt and not in time. The ball's just hit the middle of the bat as he's pulling back for a foul.
2 strikes, runners on 3 and 1.
Good opportunity for New South Wales to put down an aggressive play with runners at the corners and a left-handed batter in the box. High for a ball. Banford throws right over. O'Leary got a big jump, but didn't take off on the throw, so stolen base for Mitchell Brownlow. Both runners now in scoring position for New South Wales, and that ball was out of the zone.
Ball 1, strike 2 on Bond.
Victoria just having a defensive conference here, having a chat amongst themselves. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count on Bond. Chops at this one, it goes foul. Bond staying alive in the count. Bond, of course, part of the junior Steelers team that won World Championship gold 2 years ago. Change up on the outside for a ball, so 2-2, evening up the count.
Two guys from bottom, 2-2.
Bond only the one hit for the tournament at a 583 on base average. High for a ball. And loading up the count. So good patient hitting from Bond. Protecting the zone with a few foul balls.
From Josh Bond, loading the count up to 3-2.
And a good response from New South Wales after they were 3 up, 3 down in the first inning. Victoria blasted 2 runs in the top of this inning. Swing and a miss on Bond. That looked a little ugly.
Swing and a miss from Bond.
And that is the second out of the bottom of the second inning. Ryan King is the new hitter for New South Wales.
Ryan King.
Hitting 167 in his first Open Men's National Championship. Another member of the Junior Steelers World Championship team from 2 years ago. Swing and a miss on this first pitch. It's
Dead ball for strike one.
dead ball. He fouled it actually into his own foot. Woon has been labouring a little in this inning. He's thrown a lot of pitches to 5. This is his 6th batter of the inning. That was wayward and out of the zone for a ball. Another one out of the zone. So King getting himself back into the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two runners in scoring position for New South Wales. A swing and a miss for King. Another pitch off the plate. Banford, the catcher, was up and out of his catching position to get that one, but King was chasing on the outside edge. Two out. That one's in there for a called strike. Leaving 2 runners aboard for New South Wales, but they were able to close the gap ever so slightly, scoring 1 run after a lead-off walk from James Todhunter. Advanced around from O'Leary and Mitchell Brownlow, scoring on the error when it was a miss-hit over to the third base player, George Samaras. But Victoria will get out of that inning with back-to-back strikeouts. So 3 strikeouts for Woon in the inning to end the second. We're through the warm-up pitches. Again, so efficiently, and Victoria, their number 3 hitter, Sam Cassiano, is up to bat.
Number 33.
Bench players for Victoria are Alex Chapman, Anthony Battridge, Aaron Hare, Isaac Smith, Ben Shea, and James Brownlow listed, but he is injured. First pitch, straight to Mitchell Brownlow, who very casually takes it off one hop and fires it across towards for the first out. 1 pitch and 1 out for New South Wales, and George Samaras,
Into the box.
the hitter.
George Samaras.
In there for a called strike, catching that inside edge. Chops at this one and it goes foul. Peters into his motion and a called strike. Samaras watches that one right over the middle of the plate for the second out. So efficient pitching for Harry Peters. He's got 2 outs on 4 pitches with a strikeout. And Joel Hughes, who's hitting 5 for Victoria, is up to bat. Swing and a miss on Hughes.
Swing and a miss for strike 1.
Pretty aggressive batter. He's had no walks on the tournament, but he's got a lot of ball in play. He's had a very good tournament. Hughes hitting 348, 458 on base average.
Time call for the batter. Safe hit through the gap to left field. Putting the runner on 1, 2 out.
Great shot from Hughes, comes up with a hit. Victoria with a base runner now. Great shot opposite field as well. He took that pitch and drove it.
Stephen Dawson.
Bringing up Steve Dawson now. He's a home run hitter from last inning. Just missing. Down and in for a called for a ball. Chops this one. Peter Wards will make the tag and third out. So put out for Wards, and that'll get New South Wales out of this defensive innings after a good shot from Joel Hughes. Just the second hit of the game for Victoria in third hit of the game. First hit was, of course, Steve Dawson's home run. Tallarico had an RBI single in the second as well. So positive start from Victoria. 2 runs to 1 lead. And we'll go into the bottom of the third, and we'll go back to the top of the New South Wales order with Hayden Matthews, the new hitter. Coaching staff for both teams: Adam Rindfleisch, ringer, the head coach for New South Wales, assistant coach Scott Rindfleisch, and Charlie Wetu. Leslie Darby is the team manager, and Sue Frost, the statistician. All right, we're getting things underway here in the bottom of the third inning, and Hayden Matthews is the hitter. Had a strikeout first time up to bat, and I've been joined in the commentary box from Aussie Steelers representative from the 2017 silver medal team, Jared Chops Farrell. G'day, Jared.
How's it going, James? How are we all tonight?
First out of the bottom of the third innings is Hayden Matthews, a ground out over to third base. Peter Ward's now back up to bat. Had a bunt in the first inning, straight back to the pitcher wound.
Into the box, number 83, Pete Wards.
Fouls the first one off. Jared, you have played in this tournament and come up against both these sides. What are your thoughts on both these teams?
I think New South Wales definitely with the short game. They certainly have been outplaying some teams early in the game. Victoria, though, with the surprise power hitting. Wound just going away there with a down ball. Wardsy fouls that off.
Ball 1, strike 2.
One ball, 2 strikes on Peter Wards. tries the corner and misses. Counts 2 and 2.
Nice size for ball 2.
Come on, dogger.
Woon's going to take this to a full count.
Ball 3, strike 2 on Pete Wards.
Peter Wards takes his signal here.
Come on now. Come on, fight hard.
That is popped over into left field. Tallarico unable to get there in time. Wardsy takes 2 on the play.
Great running slap by Pete Wards. Scores himself a double.
Next up to bat for New South Wales, number 27, Cullen Beashall.
Up to bat, number 3 hitter, Cullen Beashall.
It's in there for a strike.
Yeah, Beashall shows bunt on that pitch. It was high and looked like he was in 2 minds whether or not to leave it, and goes behind in the count with a called strike. Shows bunt again, and Wards, it's a big jump from second but unable to advance as it's a foul ball. Joe, we've seen Coach Ryan Flesh go to the bunt many times so far in this game, but it's been the balls into play that have done the damage, forcing the VICs to make a play defensively.
It's all about trying to manufacture a run here. With a runner on second, you're down by 1.
Nice fight, fouls it off.
Your power hitting numbers are probably down at the moment, so it's all about trying to manufacture that run, and that's what New South Wales are definitely known for and are good at producing.
So Beashall, one of those guys that is just so capable. He can put the ball opposite field, he can pull it, he can drive it hard with a power shot as he rips that one down the foul line and straight past his coach. So he's protecting his zone. I'd probably expect to see him get the ball into play and to move Peter Wards. That's his job at the moment with 1 out.
Yeah, there's not too many times you don't see Beashall put the ball into play, and we saw earlier in the innings that just putting the ball into play, anything can happen here.
Protecting the zone once again, high and outside, fouling it off. Count remains at 2 strikes. Now Woon has been pitching for Victoria 18.5 innings with a 4.5 ERA. Surprising to see he gets the start against New South Wales?
Not necessarily. I think he's definitely a power pitcher. And
there goes Beashall, rips it to the left side. Peter Wards doesn't break stride, turning third to score the second run of the game. Beashall gives it a clap, an RBI single with 2 strikes. And Woon will give up the second run on an RBI single for Beashall. The score's tied at 2-all. Bringing up James Todhunter. Jared, we were just talking about Woon getting the start because it's been Anthony Battridge doing the majority of work for Victoria's, pitching 33 innings.
Yeah, Anthony Battridge is probably a great reliever in this situation. And the fact if they can get as many innings out of Woon early and still have Battridge come in to close the game out is definitely a key to their success today.
Woon on top against new hitter James Todhunter with a called strike, first pitch, and goes out of the zone here, high and outside for a ball, so evening up the count. Now Beashall's got some wheels. Do you expect to see him move on this pitch?
I would expect at least a hit and run here.
Big cut from Todhunter, a swing and a miss, and goes behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beashall with an aggressive lead-off. That wasn't going. Woon seems to just turn it up just a little bit here to stay on top of the New South Wales hitter and dangerous hitter in James Todhunter.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Teammate of yours on a couple of tours now?
yeah, a couple of tours, and one of those guys that on his day can be one of those world-class hitters.
3 balls, 2 strikes from the batter, 1 out.
Count goes full. Led off the second innings with a walk, which ended in a run. Second walk of the game for Todd Hunter. And Callum Beashall moves over to second base.
Runners on 2 and 1. Up to bat, number 35, Liam O'Leary.
Liam O'Leary's the new hitter for New South Wales, a called strike. 2 runners on for New South Wales as they threaten here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. New South Wales have tied up the game. Another called strike on O'Leary. Jared, I was saying earlier in the game that O'Leary's only had 2 hits on the tournament, but 12 walks.
He's probably one of the most patient hitters in Australia. He will not swing unless he gets his exact pitch. There he goes, hacking at that lifter inside. Probably one of his favourite pitches to hit there. We just saw Anthony Batchridge just walk down the right field foul ball line into the bullpen to start warming up.
Good to see New South Wales coaching staff looking to make sure that their pitcher and their ace is warm, as Beashall and Todd Hunter will both advance on a wild pitch, hitting the back stop, and it smashes into the Perspex glass.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1 ball and 2 strikes now on O'Leary. Plate umpire Macaulay dusting off the plate. Victorian defence moves inside the line to protect that, stop that runner from scoring, but O'Leary goes opposite field. He drives it hard. It's gone deep and foul. What a hell of a piece of the ball.
Big foul ball for Liam O'Leary.
That would have scored a run if it landed fair and or caught.
Yeah, on the catch, it's almost 2. That was deep, right in the corner.
Good pitch from Woon. Doesn't quite catch O'Leary's swing, but Bamford's going to ask Macaulay to check down the 3rd base line. No swing. This is 3rd base umpire.
Ball 2, strike 2.
O'Leary with a 2-2 count. 2 runners on, both in scoring position. Fouls this one off, staying alive in the count.
Good fight from Liam.
Do you know much about pitcher Adam Woon?
No, I know he's from New Zealand, but that's about all I know. He's had a pretty successful strike count up in the 60s, but he's gone 18 innings, which is actually surprising. I've seen a lot of him this week.
Ground ball to shortstop. Tallarico has to play first, and great play from Sam Cassiano. Has to come off the base and makes the tag as O'Leary runs through, but it's an RBI for O'Leary, and the 2nd run of the inning scores, giving New South Wales the lead, 3 runs to 2. Great defensive action from Tallarico. The ball was chopped down into the ground. He had to charge it and make the throw on the run. Equally as impressive was Sam Cassiano at first base. Woon would be happy with that defensive effort there. Although the run scored, the out was able to be made. When a pitcher is in a little bit of trouble with 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position, you've got to be happy with that defense.
Yeah, you definitely got to. With that, you definitely have to make the simple plays, and giving up a run and getting the out, especially on that tough play. It was not hit quite hard enough, and it certainly wasn't hit on the roll. So one of those in-betweens where you definitely need to hustle, get the out, and great work by Sam Cassiano over there on first to really clean up the throw.
Lockie Hay in a good hitters count watches that one through for a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now with 2 outs. James Todhunter, the runner on third, trying to get a look at the catcher's signal. Lockie Hay goes deep centre field, a home run. Another 2 runs for New South Wales, and they'll extend their lead. Massive shot straight over centre field. That could be it for Woon.
Absolutely great piece of the ball. Dead centre field, 300 foot. Can't go wrong with that, can you, Jimmy?
Although it's a slightly shorter fence here at Blacktown than what they would have been playing in Canberra, that was a no-doubter, an automatic off the bat from Lockie Hay. 4 runs put up on the 3rd inning for New South Wales, and they'll now go out to a 3-run lead, as we will see Woon come out of the game, and Victoria will go to their ace, Anthony Battridge. Well, it was a pretty good start from Woon. He had a number of strikeouts early in the game, but a 2-run home run to Lockie Hay after New South Wales just looked to be grinding it out, didn't they? You mentioned before about manufacturing runs. We saw Bichel just keep battling away behind in the count. He ended up getting an RBI single, and we saw O'Leary have a similar turn it back behind in the count early and grinded it out.
Yeah, I think the batters have just been patient. They've been just getting in there waiting for their pitch to hit, or waiting for their pitch to produce something, and you get a couple of guys on, and then a pitcher has a missed pitch, and all of a sudden you're down by 3. It's certainly tough.
All right, well, the VICs are going to Anthony Battridge now. He, as we mentioned earlier, pitched 33 innings so far. Jared, what else can you tell us about Anthony?
He's got a 4.2 ERA, very good down ball, very good lifter, made the Aussie squad last year. I think he's coming back from injury, but certainly in fine form. Certainly shut us down in the later stages of the last VIC game. Let's see how he goes here. That ball's in there for strike 1.
First pitch strike for Brownlow.
Tries down and in. Good spot on Brownlow. No tempting, that's ball 1. It's gone hard up. Umpire McCauley's given him for the swing. Strike 2. Tries the corner there. Bamford having a slight struggle with a bit of glove action, and we go to 2 and 2. Goes for the change. Gets him swinging, and that ends the innings, but not before New South Wales pile on 4 runs, leading the VICs 5-2.
Into the
First up to bat for the Victorians, it's John Hudson. Misses low for ball one. Gets the outside on that heavy down ball.
Strike for Peters, 1-1.
Evens the count up at 1-1. Hard down and in. Hudson can't lay off. Goes for a swing. Comes up empty. Falls behind in the count here.
Time call for Harry Peters.
Bondi just having a few technical issues with the lacing in his glove. Harry must have put a few extra kilometres on that down ball in.
Ball one, strike 2 on Hudson.
Well, Victoria now out to a 5-2 lead. Hudson will chop this one to Brownlow for the first out. Pretty hard shot, but straight to the fielder. Jarrah's 5-2 lead for New South Wales with Harry Peters pitching. He seems to have found his groove a little bit. They're going to be hard to catch from here, or never count out Victoria.
I don't think you can count out anyone here. Once Harry gets into a groove, he's always going to be tough to hit. But we've seen Victoria's bats really light up.
Seach shows bunt. Pulls out and off the plate for ball one. Now I was just doing a little bit of social media there just in that inning break. So you can follow us both on Instagram, James Harris 182 and Chops 2232. And thanks to everyone who's watching at home as well, right here at Croc Media Softball Australia Facebook page. And terrific action here in the semi-finals of the John Reid Shield. Blacktown International Sports Park, and special thanks to Blacktown City Council and their staff and crew for making sure the Diamonds are up and ready.
Yeah, they've done an absolute amazing job to bring this up with the amount of rain we've had this last few days. So it's certainly a credit to them to bring this world-class facility back up to scratch after the amount of rain, which is dearly needed.
Swing and a miss, so Seach will go down on strike swinging for the second out of the inning. We'll go back to the top of the Victorian batting lineup and Adam Tallarico as assistant coach Ryan Flesch goes to the mound for a chat with the New South Wales infield. What do you think he would be saying at the moment?
I really don't know, due to the fact that they're leading. He's obviously just seen something with Harry. I think it's probably about his pitching.
Well, that conversation was fully directed at Harry, and he is actually clutching at his hamstring, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a bit of an issue there, or I don't think there was anything to do with an illegal pitch or anything like that, or what he saw, but I don't know if there was a bit of a twinge. But yeah, that whole conversation revolved around Peters, and let's see how he goes from here.
Bamford, the hitter for Victoria. That ball is up and in. Not often you see a hitter untucked, but because there's a catcher, we'll probably let him go.
Oh, well, you always need to be tucked in here. This is definitely bad luck for Bamford.
Ball one, strike one.
Swing and a miss. Evening the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Called strike on the outside edge. Now, if Peters is struggling with a slight twinge or an injury, New South Wales does have a pretty good bench to go to and a bullpen in Nathan Dickinson and Bradley Kilpatrick. That one's just under the strike zone and a ball called. Kilpatrick actually named in the USA extended squad for the next 12 months.
Yeah, definitely has. Obviously has the dual citizenship. He represented Australia at the Junior Steelers. Was a world champion back in 2018. Count goes full here.
Bamford really making Peters work. Swing and a foul ball. Yeah, making him work after that timeout. Who do you think they'd go to next? Do you think they'd go to the veteran Dickinson, or do you think they'll go to the young star in Kilpatrick?
I think they'll probably go with Dicko, actually. It's a change of pace. Bamford strikes out swinging. Parry just tucks that inside and gets the out.
Well, 4 innings of work now for Peters. So if they can maintain a lead, they probably can go to one of the 2 that are in the bullpen at the moment. And you were saying?
Yeah, I think your next option is probably Nathan Dickinson. He threw very well early against ACT in the first game of the championships. Great change, good down ball. Really going to make the hitters think, and that's what you're going to want later on in this game if you have to go into the bullpen.
Well, Victoria had the early lead, and seems like it's been New South Wales with all the momentum ever since their 2-run inning in the second. Putting 1 up in the second and then 4 last inning, including Lockie Hayes' 2-run shot. Josh Bond will lead things off in the bottom of the 4th innings for New South Wales, as Jaden Bamford just finishes getting dressed as the catchers are fully geared up. So it does take him a little while to get ready for the inning. And here we go. Gives his signal to pitcher Battridge. Bruiser Battridge fires that one inside for a called strike. Of course, ACT winning the early game 10-0 over Queensland to advance straight through to this year's John Reid Shield Grand Final. Queensland will play the winner of this match.
On Josh Bond.
Of course, Softball Australia proudly bringing us this coverage of the 2020 John Reid Shield Final Series, and as they have done for the majority of this week, all the games on Diamond 1 have been live streamed through the New South Wales Facebook page, and of course the last couple of games of each night brought to you by Croc Media. We see Josh Bond behind in the count here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one hits the outside edge. Not happy with it, did it? He threw his hand in the air?
Not at all, but from up here, there's no complaints. That's a strike every day.
Up to bat for New South Wales.
I think the umpires have done an absolutely terrific job throughout the week. They've got a good crew. They've been easy to get along with as well in this tournament. Ryan King, the new hitter, swing and a miss outside the zone. Is this going to be a tactic from Battridge? Is he going to throw out and try and catch the New South Wales batters chasing?
It's certainly been one of his tactics previously this week. Pounds the zone early and throws up and away. It's quite a good rise ball, so and it's hard and heavy, so it's been getting a lot of guys, and it's certainly been one of his strikeout pitches.
Ryan King fouls this one off. Now, we saw him swing away on the first one, which was out of the zone, but then he watched the next one in the zone. Does that mean that he's waiting for a rise ball? Is he sitting on a rise ball pitch?
It's going to be pretty hard to sit on the rise to do anything constructive with it. I think he was just looking for another waste pitch and didn't get it.
Well, Battridge will get back-to-back strikeouts, and Ryan King just fanned at that one for the second out of the 4th inning. So good job here from the big man on the mound for the Victorians. Arrested some of this momentum that New South Wales had after a short Victorian offense. Hayden Matthews, the leadoff for New South Wales. Change of pace and outside for ball 1. Hayden Matthews gets a piece of this one, but it goes straight down the throat of centre fielder Glenn Rigg for the third out. Terrific defensive inning here for the VICs. This could get them back in the game as they will take some much needed momentum as we will go into the top of the 5th inning. Gee, this game is just moving along, isn't it, Jared? It's a few innings with runs involved, but it seems to be happening quickly.
Yeah, it'll certainly turn into a bit of a pitching duel now, I reckon. The VICs have stopped the flow of runs here, and it looks like New South Wales are just trying to hit away and trying to free up their game a bit now that they've manufactured those 5 runs. So I think the next few innings we'll actually see a few scoreless innings here, and we'll see the pitchers really work for it.
Well, that may also be determined by whether they keep leaders on a short leash as well, monitoring what seems to be a slightly hampered string.
Yeah, he had a bit of a chatting to. We'll see how he really ends up, but he looks like his motion and his mechanics are fine right now, and he hasn't really slowed down any of those 3 warm-up pitches in between innings. It looks like it's just his normal routine, so Harry's a pretty tough customer, and you're probably not going to see it from him anyway.
Yeah, we've seen him be the workhorse for New South Wales over the last few years. Successful New South Wales teams, a couple of John Reid Shields in the pocket over the last few years. But he's had a deep battery, hasn't he, over the last few years, and you know, the likes of Darby and Lanigan, and you know, this year they've gone with a shorter battery, haven't they? Just the 3 pitchers in the team this year.
Yeah, just the 3 pitchers. I think they've shared the load fairly well.
Well, Peters and Tallarico for the 3rd time in the game. We go to the top of the Victorian lineup. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tallarico has been an outstanding performer for the VICs in this tournament. Tough batter to throw to.
Yeah, certainly a tough batter to throw to. He probably beat you a couple of ways. He certainly got enough power to muscle the ball out, but just a really great contact hitter. Really patient. I believe he walks a lot and he takes a lot of pitches. And here we see him going to a 3-1 count.
Tallarico, junior Steelers team member from a few years back. Went through the Friendship Series program and now one of the team leaders for Victoria as he will go aboard once again for another walk in the game. He's had a lead-off walk, an RBI single, and another walk to lead off the 3rd inning, and it's much more easy to score when you can get that lead-off on base.
Yeah, certainly. I would have thought the percentage is fairly high, and if you're getting a lead-off on, that lead-off scoring nearly every innings.
Glenn Rigg gets a piece of this ball. Todd Hunter did very well to field it. Tallarico slides in, and Todd Hunter not happy. He appealed to the second base umpire and they'll have a chat about it. What did you see, Jared?
I think that he couldn't get it out of his glove, but I think he actually tagged him on the way through. It's going to be pretty close. It's been called safe.
Well, what I saw was that he fielded it cleanly, but on the full stretch, the dive at full stretch, couldn't get the ball out of the glove cleanly to flip it over to shortstop Ryan King, and then the runner went past. So perhaps it was the runner maybe getting in the way of the throw?
Yeah, I think he's just tried sticking his arm out with the ball to tag him, knowing that he couldn't get the throw away.
All right, well, the New South Wales coaching staff have sent out, well, they've got an umpire there in the coaching ranks, haven't they? Scott Rhineflesh. I think he's got a level 27 umpiring, and he's over talking to Softball SA Hall of Famer Damien McCauley, and they're going to have another chat. Have a look at Scott following the umpires now. I would have thought that this would have been a close-rank conversation.
Yeah, well, it always helps if the coach just lingers around a bit. You can always get a little extra in there, throw in your opinion, even if it's not necessarily needed.
Well, just having a bit of a chat, and they just want to clarify what has happened on the play. So it'd be very interesting to see a replay, but Doesn't look like anything's changing for the VICs, with 2 runners on base, none out, and Sam Cassiano up to bat. Sammy K, one of the nicest blokes that you'll meet. Harry Peters will deal, and Cassiano watches that one over for a called strike. Tallarico, a little bit of cat and mouse at second base.
Called strike on the batter, strike number 1.
Cassiano goes right side. Todd Hunter will make a good play here, going to his forehand side, the glove side, over to Peter Wards for the first out. Both runners advance, so great job from Sam Cassiano in a situational play, moving 2 runners into scoring position for George the Greek Samaras, who has had 3 home runs on the tournament and 3 RBIs, so all of his RBIs have come from solo home runs. The VICs will be looking to have him bring these runners in as it just goes foul and out of reach of Peter Wards.
Also voted one of the nicest men in softball.
Wards saying, well, I just mentioned Sam Cassiano. We're actually a nice bunch of blokes, aren't we?
It'd be a hard fight between those 2 guys. You can't beat 2 of the nicest guys around.
Well, Samaras went on the first pitch, foul, and goes again on the second one. And Harry Peters just looks a couple of Ks ahead of Samaras' swing there. Good position to be here for Peters. 0-2 count with these 2 runners in scoring position. 1 out, the infield in tight. Down and in, just off the plate. New South Wales fans wanted that one.
Yeah, New South obviously playing in with only the 1 out here. They're trying to stop these runs. We know anything can really change very quickly, especially with the short porches here at Sydney. You get a shot here and they're back in it.
That one way out of the zone. Samaras wanted nothing to do with that one and takes a few steps out of the batter's box to regain his focus, a deep breath, and reset. 2-2 the count. Chops at that one with a 2-strike adjusted swing up the handle of the bat. You like that adjustment made there, Jared? Particularly the situation, couple of runs down, 2 strikes.
Well, certainly, it just makes sense. You need to be putting the ball into play here. Do the job for the team.
Samaras, key turn at bat here for Victoria. He's their 4-hitter. 2 runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss, high and outside the strike zone for the second out. Samaras not happy with himself. He held back on that. He was going to hit the bat on the ground. But for me, Jared, with Joel Hughes up to bat, I didn't know him before this tournament, and he's just continued to produce. Had a hit last turn up to bat as well.
Yeah, as well as the 7 RBIs throughout the tournament. Yeah, coming in not having to know him, he is certainly producing for the Victorian lineup here.
In the left-handed box, as well as the New South Wales defence goes back to a more regulation field, just requiring the 1 out, as Adam Tallarico keeping a close eye on what's happening behind the dish there, as Josh Bond had to reach for that one. So we've got wheels on second and third. Hughes swings at that one up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. This one gets away from the catcher. You can expect Tallarico to go in hard to the plate. Didn't slide the first time he had the opportunity to score. May have been the difference from scoring or not. One ball, 2 strikes on Hughes. Harry Peters just calls time. Resets, gets his signal. And Hughes chops at this one. It goes foul. Count remains at 1-2. Jared, Hughes's stance in the box, his feet are pretty close together, aren't they? They're almost an unconventional stance, but he really extends the hands well, doesn't he?
Yeah, certainly very relaxed in the box there. It looks like all the power there is coming from the upper body.
Well, New South Wales just had a quick chat just to make sure they're on the same page there in defence, with that runner Glenn Rigg, the veteran, on second base, relaying the signals to the hitter as Hughes protects the zone. One ball and 2 strikes, the count. Where you going here, Jared?
1 ball, 2 strikes. Extends his hand. You're probably thinking down and in pitch here, and he's going to go out and down, and that gets him.
Great pitch from Harry Peters with a strikeout. For the 3rd out of the inning, and Victoria threatened, but failed to score. Great opportunity for the Vics, but it's New South Wales, the strength of their defence behind pitcher Harry Peters. Just want to thank everyone who's watching at home. This is a massive game here in the John Reid Shield Final Series. Day 6 of the championship, and tomorrow, of course, is grand final day. The first game of the day will be the winner of this match against Queensland, who finished 2nd in the minor round, and waiting. The winner of that match will be the the ACT 89ers, who progressed through to the grand final with a convincing 10-0 win over Queensland in 4 innings. Just want to say hello to the SA team who are watching back at the accommodation, of course, a Travelodge Hotel. Proud supporters of Softball Australia, as is East Coast Car Rentals, and terrific supporters of softball in Australia. Can't wait for the APC Cup and the SummerSlam starting in February, Jared, but before then will be the Under-18 Women's National Championships. Peter Wards to lead things off in the bottom of the 5th inning with a single straight up the middle, and for a slap hit that was off the middle of the bat and rocketed out to centre field.
Textbook from Peter Wards there. I've probably seen him do that 1,000 times. Just puts the bat right to the ball, middles it up, and no defence can stop that.
All-important leadoff batter aboard for New South Wales, with their number 3 hitter Callum Bichel now puts down a bunt. Samaras will make the play over to first base. Gee, Sam Seach was in the tram line when he took that. Just better be careful there, the young fella. But Bichel with a textbook bunt, advancing Peter Wards with a sacrifice bunt, and James Todd Hunter with 2 walks so far in this game up to bat, runner in scoring position. What are we doing here with the Victorian defence? It looks like Isaac Smith has come in to catch for Victoria, so a change has been made with Bamford coming out of the game.
Yeah, I think Batchers has actually thrown a lot to Isaac throughout the week, so it just seems like they've just done the smart thing and swapped him around.
Now, Isaac's an under-23 representative out of Queensland, so a draft player for Victoria this year.
Yep, certainly it's not his first Open Men's League. Last year he was drafted by SA.
Terrific teammate, very coachable player as well, good catcher. So representing his 3rd state in 12 months. High and outside. Ball 1 on the hitter, Todd Hunter. And Bruiser Batrich is still looking quite confident. Was able to shut out Victoria after he came in, relieving Adam Woon.
Ball 2, strike 1 on Todd Hunter.
2 balls and a strike on the dangerous Todd Hunter. Wards on second. Big card and a foul ball from Todd Hunter. Really looking to get aggressive now in a good hitters count.
Foul back for strike 2.
After 33 innings so far in the tournament, Jared, is Battridge going to tire quickly? Is that maybe why he didn't start?
Oh, look, honestly, in games like this situation, you've got the adrenaline pumping, you've warmed up, you're just going out there to do your job. So it's not something you're ever really thinking about, am I getting tired or not, or am I tired before this game? So I think he's just come out, he's going to come do his job, shut down New South Wales, and they're going to battle it out to the end.
Great insight from Aussie Steelers squad member Jared Farrell, a silver medalist at the 2017 Men's World Championships. Todd Hunter with his third walk of the ball game. So that one just getting a little loose from Battridge as we've got 2 runners aboard now for New South Wales, bringing up the DP, Liam O'Leary. I've had the pleasure of being on the same team as Liam O'Leary through a few tournaments over the last few years, and he does lead by example as he pieces this ball up the middle, deflects off pitch at Battridge. Sam Seach looking to cover the ball up the middle, and Peter Wards will score from second. O'Leary quickly moves to second base, advancing James Todd Hunter to third. New South Wales now an extra run on the board, puts their lead out to 4 runs, now 6 runs to 2 on an RBI single to Liam O'Leary.
Yeah, they've got to keep the pedal down here in New South Wales. We had Lockie Hay up to the plate now, who had an absolute moon shot to centre field last time on a 2-strike count. So let's see what they do this time.
Has been a great player for New South Wales for a number of years now. Lockie Hay, member of a couple of national championship winning teams. But his first men's national, drafted to South Australia.
Ball gets away from the catcher.
And absolutely lit it up.
Definitely a great player. South Australia with a little bit of a reputation of farming players, haven't they?
Certainly been a farm for a few states, but it's great to see that the guys that are just on that cusp are getting their shot to really show what they can do.
Lockie Hay chops at this one. It goes to third base. Samaras and Alan Tallarico will run down James Todd Hunter and then fire it across to third base, looking for 2 outs on a miss hit. Lockie Hay safely to first on a fielder's choice. Well, it was Samaras who attempted to field that ball. It come off the inside of the glove, deflected over to shortstop Tallarico, which caught James Todd Hunter in no man's land. And Tallarico heads up play, runs down Todd Hunter, catching him easily in the end, and then had the smarts to turn around and try to make a second out. Mitchell Brownlow, hitter for New South Wales. Geez, they run deep, don't they, the New South Wales team? They've got hitters 1 through 9, and they've got some arsenal just waiting to come in from the dugout.
Yeah, that's right. They're national champions for a reason. They're just part of their lineup that they're pounding through now is just, it can be relentless. So it's good to get in early. Got to pound the zone, try and get them to at least make an opportunity, I guess, than to try and throw around them constantly.
Brownlow check swings to go to 2 balls. Runner goes, and both runners go for a double steal. O'Leary will cross the plate easily as that throw went into centre field. Glenn Rigg having to do the mopping up. Obstruction was the call from second base umpire. Was that from the shortstop coming across on that throw from the catcher Smith?
Yeah, I think Tallarico's tried his best Russian gymnast impersonation to try and not get run down by the rather large and impeding Lockie Hay there, and he's just come a bit of a cropper there, and so obstruction is the call.
2 impressive units, Tallarico and Hay.
Yeah, you wouldn't like to see him down a dark alley, those 2 blokes.
As Brownlow will take a ball 4 walk, and a timeout from Sam Cassiano called. And that is a bit of a professional timeout from the former Junior Steelers skipper Sam Cassiano. Wants to have a chat with his infield, particularly the battery, as Bruiser Battridge has just given up a couple of hits and a couple of walks now, and even 2 runs So New South Wales looking very dangerous with a 5-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 runs to 7. Well, New South Wales are going to the bench and they're bringing in the big man, Aiden Cajun, up to bat. He'll go to the left-handed batter's box, a switch hitter from the Thoroughbreds club. And as Jared has just pointed out to me, that New South Wales could walk it off here with these 2 runners on base if they cross the plate. It'll be a 7-run margin, which is what they need to end the game early. As Cajun watches that one down and out for a ball. Do you think that's what Sam Cassiano would have been saying to his field?
Yeah, I think just making them aware of what's going on. It's also just a momentum stopper as well. Cool time, eat up a bit of energy, I suppose, and try and just calm the situation down, really refocus, and then get the job going again.
Cajun set, Battridge deals, and hard shot straight back to the pig pitcher. Manages to get a glove to it, so probably saved a run. But it gets away from him and the other defensive players. So Aiden Cajun is aboard from an infield single, advancing both runners into scoring position. So loaded bases, probably even see a re-entry. We can see both Ryan Flesh brothers out there making the changes, discussing their lineup cards.
Yeah, looks like the sun's out and we're trying to keep the collars popped. But
yeah, Scotty with his trademark collar popped, hasn't he? He's well, it's not a re-entry, as Cajun was just giving back his leg guard. Kieran O'Leary, so a second, that's what the coaches were out there for, a second change in a row. And Kieran O'Leary, another member of the Thoroughbreds club, in the left-handed batter's box. High for a ball as he takes off from the back of the batter's box, looking to put a slap shot into play, probably similarly to Peter Wards. He'd be happy with a shot like that because we have got the speedy runner on second base for New South Wales, Mitchell Brownlow, who represents the game-ending run. Chops it down. Samaras will take it in foul territory. Dangerous position now for Victoria. There is 2 out. Are you surprised we haven't seen a visit to the mound from the coach?
No, I think Sam Cassiano's doing a great on-field job here, just with directing players. You can see here's just a bit of field movement because they really need to stop that run. The outfield are really, really shallow here, especially left and centre.
For the left-handed O'Leary. Now, he's a natural right-handed batter, so switch hits for the right-hand pitcher. So the outfield are in pretty tight. They don't want that runner to score from second base. Two out, 1 ball, 2 strikes the count here in the bottom of the 5th. High for a ball. Victoria really looking for a cheap out here and get another opportunity to put a couple of runs on the board and stay in this game. Battridge calls time. He's asking for a new signal pattern with the runner on second base. Is that easy to pick up, easy to change?
Oh yeah, you've always got a couple of sets, but especially at night time here, just trying to see fingers and things are flipping around, so you really want to make sure that you're getting it right here.
O'Leary chops at this one and into perhaps the injured leg already. He had a couple of games off earlier in the week, isn't he, recovering from injury? He hasn't had much luck over the last couple of years. Was named in the New South Wales team last year, but had to sit out with a broken finger. Not playing softball, that was from playing touch footy. O'Leary has proven to be quite resilient, though, over his career. 2 junior men's world championships, then he went to an open men's world championship, so 3 world championships in 4 years, I think he's been to. Chops this one to the right side. Second base player Sam Seach makes a good play. And Victoria were in a little bit of trouble, but they got themselves out of it. So plenty of fight left from the VICs as they get out of trouble, but they didn't get out of it cleanly. 2 runs in that inning for New South Wales, and they left the bases bulging. So New South Wales really threatening. So Victoria really need to arrest the momentum that has shifted a couple of times in this game already, Jared, and we still see Harry Peters on the mound.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to close the game out now. He's got plenty of lead ahead of him. He can sort of just kick back into cruise control here and get the job that he knows he can do done.
I think we've seen a couple of re-entries because we saw Josh Bond and Ryan King had a couple of pinch hitters in Aiden Cajun and Kieran O'Leary. They both go back into the defense. Ryan King at shortstop, of course, and Josh Bond as the catcher. Victoria also making a few changes by the looks of things. Both sets of coaches went to plate umpire Macaulay. Of course, the New South Wales coaches do it in tandem, the 2 Ryan Flesh brothers.
Leading off for Victoria, number 56, Stephen Dawson.
Well, Stephen Dawson, the hitter for Victoria, he smashed that home run in his first turn at bat. A called strike, probably top of the zone on Dawson.
Called strike for strike 1.
Such a dangerous hitter.
Yeah, definitely. He'll light you up early.
Chops at this one. Thought it might have been a dead ball and tries to beat out an infield grounder, but Mitchell Brownlow does a great job at third base for New South Wales for the first out.
Just looked like he bobbled that ball just directly into his throwing hand. You couldn't have got a perfect flick up then. And it looks like Harry Peters is coming out of the game.
Yeah, change is made, and, well, in unfamiliar fashion from Adam Rhineflesh, the change has been made quickly. We've seen him really go out there like a human rain delay and really talk to his players, make sure that the decision's the right one for the team, reassuring him. So probably a planned move then in this case, and he's going to the young lefty in Bradley Kilpatrick. He's got 2 lefties there in the bullpen in Nathan Dickinson and Bradley Kilpatrick. So a junior world champion. Actually, coach Rhineflesh was a junior world championship winner himself in the late 90s with the junior Steelers team that got things going for the junior men's program back in the mid-90s. I think it was about 97. They won the first of 5 junior men's world championships in a row, a string of them, and just out of the medals for the last couple until 2018. Now back to the top of the tree in world softball when the Australian junior men's team regained the world title. John Hudson is now up to bat for Victoria, junior men's world championship winner himself. Ground ball over to Todd Hunter for the second out.
Yep, great spot to put him in the lineup here. Just having 7, 8, 9 batters come in lets him work into the innings respectively, and then back up to the top to finish off what hopefully is for them the top of the 7th and possibly the end of the game.
Great insight from Aussie Steelers squad member and skipper of the South Australian men's team this year, Jared Farrell. 2 outs now, and we've got a new hitter for Victoria, so this is one of the changes. Hare, the hitter. Aaron Hare, who's wearing uniform number 2. As Kilpatrick Throws that one in there for a strike and deals swing and a miss for strike 2.
Swing for strike 2. 4-1, strike 2.
Great shot from Hare, a pinch hit single in the 5-6 hole, and Ryan King can't get a glove to it. And it will bring up the catcher, Isaac Smith, with 2 out.
Just delivering on the coach's faith right there. Gets the lead off on, and Isaac Smith here with a job to move him around.
21, Isaac Calero Smith.
Always looks relaxed in the game, Isaac. He's just watched that one through the bottom or under the zone for ball 1. Can hit a long ball. Checks on that one there for ball 2, and Josh Bond asked the question. No, he didn't.
2 balls.
Goes ahead on the count, 2-0. Kilpatrick will deal and called strike on Smith.
Strike 1 on the outside.
Still in a good hitters count, 2 balls and a strike. The lefty for New South Wales will deal, and Smith tries to crunch that one. It goes foul and evens up the count at 2-2.
Foul back, 2-2.
Interestingly enough, Victoria didn't have any stolen bases over the tournament, and I was just going to say perhaps we'll see him get on his bike here, Hare on first base, but it was Kilpatrick with the strikeout pitch on Isaac Smith for the 3rd out of the inning. So New South Wales have done very well to get out of that inning pretty quickly with 4 batters, just allowing the 1 hit. Probably important for Victoria to have a similarly quick inning here to remain in the game as we go into the bottom of the 6th. Victoria down to 3 outs, but New South Wales could end it with 2 runs in this inning.
Yeah, and I think New South Wales are really going to be wanting that. Harry's come out of the game now, and it looks to be that Kilpatrick is coming in the game firing, so they're probably not going to be too worried about it, but they'd like to finish it as early as possible.
Well, we've just passed 9 p.m. and, well, it is a shame that the last few minor round games of the tournament were called off because of the weather, but probably the right decision in the end from Softball Australia to get the finals played so we could crown a champion for the 2020 John Reid Shield, the Australian Men's National Championship. So congratulations to those teams that have played, and it's been run and won for WA and SA. Both teams were fierce competitors throughout the championship. And we have got head coach of the South Australian men's team up in the commentary box alongside me here, Jared Farrell. So thank you for your time this evening, Jared. Give us a bit of an insight into this team from New South Wales. The one game you played against them, they just put 10 runs on the board so quickly. Powerhouses throughout the whole entire lineup.
Yeah, certainly they just don't let up with the tactics of the game. They don't try and out-hit you straight out of the box, and I think that's what we've seen here too. They haven't come out swinging, they've just piled on a couple, and then they can go back into their free swinging game once they've got the game under their control, and I think that's what we've seen tonight.
Absolutely, as we see another change has been made from coach Ryan Flesch. We see Stuart Perry coming into bat for lead-off hitter Hayden Matthews. So we've had a few changes. Do you think he's trying to get some game time into some of these players and share it around a little?
I'm just trying to get him in that bat here. Perry coming back after a long break on the sidelines, and it's good to see him back out. He's lay off that high rise and he's earned himself a walk.
Probably just out of the strike zone.
Or just above the strike zone.
Bringing into the box, number 83.
Well, Petey Wards has had a terrific game so far. Getting the ball into play, making things happen for New South Wales. We saw that great shot up the middle, his last turn up at bat, and he'll be looking to move batter and now runner Stuart Perry. Gets a big lead, stays low to the ground. Ball one on Wards. Great bun, it almost stops dead off the bat, but rolls foul. Gee, Peter Wards has come out of retirement for this tournament, Jared, covering an injury. I mentioned that earlier in the game. A great addition to the team.
Oh, he's an absolute character and certainly a great addition to the team. He brings a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and an absolute great talent. And we'll see on here, his talent just produced this ball. Hopefully he'll get a shot out to centre here, I reckon. We'll go 2 for 2 here.
Puts down the bunt. Samaras is quickly onto that one and fires it across to Seach for an out. Advancing Stuart Perry to second base. And Callum Beechel will now come up to bat.
Now batting, number 27, Callum Beechel.
One out, Callum Beechel. Relatively quiet night for Callum. He's such a good player. So it's probably expect him to come up with some goods here.
Yeah, one of those versatile players, can bunt, hit, just chop that into the ground, over to first, almost beats it out with his pace. That's for out number 2.
Beechel grounds out to the second base.
Well, advancing the runner, though, to third. So Stuart Perry on third base and a good chance to score. James Todd Hunter has hardly had to take the bat off his shoulder. As he's had a couple of walks in this game already. High and outside for a ball. Keep attacking from the Victorians, or you got to be careful here?
You have to keep attacking, obviously. You still need to score some runs here, and you need to limit the damage in this inning. So with 2 out, playing back, I think they'll just try and go for the ground out here. And even if they put Todd Hunter on, they've got 2 bases open here. So I think they'll just play it smart.
Well, there you go. Special comments from Jared Chops Farrell. 0-2 count and a good batter's count for James Todd Hunter. Has a wild swing at that one, probably too far outside to try to pull, and he's still in a good count though at 2 balls and a strike. Stuart Perry, the runner, on third base. Check swing, high and outside for ball 3. Three and 1 the count. Plate umpire Damien McCauley just clarifying the count with the hitter. As a check swing, we'll see another walk for Todd Hunter.
JT earns himself another walk.
So obviously Victoria very wary of how dangerous Todd Hunter can be, particularly in big games as well, Jared. Haven't given him anything to hit, and he's taken a walk every turn of bat.
Oh, he's just doing his job as the quality player that he is. He's just doing the team thing, and if they're not going to throw to him, then he'll just take his base. It's as simple as that.
Liam O'Leary in the left-handed batter's box for New South Wales has been a menace for New South Wales all tournament long, and in particular to the Vics tonight. Hits a heavy ball, tries to get after that first pitch for a foul. Swing and a miss on the change-up from Battridge. Good location and a good change of pace.
It certainly gets him off. It's one of probably Liam's weaker pitches to hit, if there can be one. It's just all about location with that pitch as well.
High, and a swing called on plate by plate umpire Macaulay for the third out. Not sure if O'Leary was happy with that, and neither were you, Jared, by the looks of things. Maybe a check swing?
No, we're right on there, and that was a check swing all day.
I think it was a pretty good call myself. It looks like the coach for New South Wales just making a re-entry. I think it was a quick change there. Let's have a look to make sure that Matthews will go back out to centre field and a re-entry into the game. Thanks everyone who's at home watching. Got some teams back at their hotels watching as well, and also co-commentator from the Spacequake Sports Call team, Mark Cramps, joined the conversation as well, and good to see you supporting at home as well. Thanks so much to all the Softball Australia partners for your support, bringing you the live coverage, and to Blacktown City Council for your great work that you've done on the facility throughout the week. The tournament was threatened by rain over the last couple of days, and a terrific job done by the grounds crew to get things into tip-top shape and in time for the final series. Well, here we go. Last chance for Victoria, down to the last 3 outs. Who better than game's original leadoff hitter, Adam Tallarico? Had a couple of walks and an RBI single already in the game, and watches this one through for a ball. Bradley Kilpatrick's pitching for New South Wales. That's down and in for ball 2. Good hitters count now for Tallarico. That one straight down the middle for strike 1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, best part of the lineup for Victoria, top of the order.
Yeah, it's certainly a great place to be. Let's see if they can produce some runs. Tallarico swinging over the top of that hard down ball from Kilpatrick.
Nice pitch by Kilpatrick.
Now we know that 5 runs is not out of their reach. They had a great first game against South Australia, scoring 8 in the first inning. Tallarico will watch for a third ball and goes to a full count now. Payoff pitch now, Kilpatrick. That was down, and Tallarico will go down on strike, swinging for the first out. Well, what a terrific game we've seen, and bringing all the action to everyone who's watching at home, including Jeremy Jamont, the Bud. 1 out now, top of the 7th. And Glenn Rigg now up to bat. That one is right in the bottom corner inside, and strike 1 on Glenn Rigg. What a terrific career this man has had. It's a farewell tour for him this year. Had a terrific year, leading the VICs in average. Hard shot, but covered by third base for the second out in what might be the final at-bat on a terrific career. The head down on the Victorian skipper. What a great year he had. 435, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and tip your cap to Glenn Rigg. Now with 2 outs, Sam Cassiano up to bat.
Full strike for strike 1.
1 strike, so Victoria down to their last out. Cuts at this one. It goes to the right side, and under it is Callum Beechel for the third out. And that will be the ball game. New South Wales running out winners 7 runs to 2. It was the third inning that did the damage, which included a massive shot, 2-run shot to Lockie Hay. And we saw 2 runs put on the board from Victoria in the second, but it was Harry Peters and Bradley Kilpatrick that put up Another 5 donuts to end the game for Victoria. They just couldn't get back up on top of the Victorian pitches. Closing words from you, Jared.
Yeah, a really hard-fought game there towards the start there for New South Wales, but eventually coming away winners. Going to have a tough day in Queensland tomorrow. So another cracking game. Make sure you tune into that on the Softball Australia Facebook page and live on their YouTube channel.
Well, thanks very much to Jared Chops Farrell for joining us here in the commentary position. It was New South Wales running out victors over Victoria, who will finish the 2020 John Reid Shield in 4th place. New South Wales will advance to the preliminary final tomorrow morning against Queensland. And the winner of that game will face the ACT, who have gone straight through to the final after a big win over Queensland tonight in 4 innings, 10 runs to nil. James Harris and Jared Farrell, good night.